What's going on, guys? So I just got back from another big day out at Penrith for Collector Con. Let's see what I found this time. As always, I was out there bright and early, ready to take advantage of the early bird hour. And one thing I noticed straight up was just how much more spacious the layout was with the return of the third hall, which had been under renovation since last year. Not only did that mean more spacious aisles, it also meant more tables than ever, including a stack of new traders. Not only did today's CollectorCon welcome new sellers, it also welcomed the return of previous sellers, including Owen from Here for Toys, one of my go-to guys for a great selection of vintage TMNT, as well as Toxic Crusaders, Mighty Max, and so much more. And my first stop of the morning was Owen's table to suss out his awesome selection of vintage TMNT. Speaking of awesome vintage TMNT, the champions from Minikins Collectibles were there as always, and they brought with them some recent acquisitions to their personal collection with a stack of carded TMNT Shogun figures from 1994. Absolute treasure trove of vintage Shogun turtles, man. I've never actually seen these in the flesh. These are incredible. Shogun Splinter. That's awesome. And then we've got the next one here is a Shogun Mike. I love that one, he's awesome. And it just keeps coming. Shogun Leo. And the Shogun Shredder, how about that? That is absolutely beautiful. I love that back metal. Pristine card backs. Oh, the gold Shogun Raph. Wow. And then last of all, the Shogun April. Unbelievable. Now, personal collection aside, the boys also brought with them a stack of really cool pieces that were up for grabs. Just some of the ones that stood out to me were a boxed 70s Muhammad Ali boxing ring, which was super cool. They also had a vintage Aggro plush from Aggro's Cartoon Connection. That thing definitely hit my nostalgia button, shout out Sizdog. And they also had some really cool Superpowers rip-off figures, which were awesome. Now, much like those TMNT Shogun figures that Minikins brought with them, another thing I saw today that I'd never seen in the flesh before was a Dark Dragon released by Tonka as part of their Super Naturals line in 1987. Now, Super Naturals in general are getting trickier to find here in Australia, especially in nice condition and complete. But to see one of the larger beast figures Dark Dragon, fully complete, was just incredible, and it was definitely tempting me.
That is beautiful, man. That's something I've definitely not seen in the flesh before. Yeah, that hologram on the front is really nice as well. I'm almost too scared to ask how much this thing is.
But it is a pricey piece. And they also had the counterpart of the Dark Dragon with lion wings, very much incomplete, but still super cool to see.
Definitely something you don't see often here. And what about him? How much is he? 150, okay.
He missed his hat.
Yeah. Did he have a hologram as well?
He had a little hat like that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
The same stall also had a boxed Mighty Max Skull Mountain, so it was stocked with all the stuff that I love. And I also saw there a stack of knockoff figures from the Combo or Combo Hero line. Combo basically being an amalgamation of Conan and Rambo with a little bit of 80s wrestling and just a pinch of the Terminator thrown in for the ultimate jack of all trades line of 5.5 80s knockoffs. It's funny, I don't collect Masters of the Universe, but I find myself drawn to all the knockoff weirdo figures that, you know, were built to capitalize on the Motu hype. And these things were definitely calling my name, but I'm determined not to get drawn down a new rabbit hole, so begrudgingly, I left behind those Combo Hero figures. Speaking of things that were calling my name, there was another seller there that had some boxed and sealed Ring Raiders goodness, including a sealed 1988 Sky-based Freedom that was definitely tempting me. Because it's one of the Ring Raiders playsets that I don't have in my collection in any shape or form, loose, boxed, incomplete, whatever. So it's one that I'm definitely on the lookout for, and this thing was sealed in a really nice box. With that said, it's a shelf hogger. It's a piece that's going to take up a lot of shelf space, and space is at a bit of a premium for me at the minute, so I decided to save that one for another day, but super cool to see. Just when I was starting to think this might just be the first Collecticon I leave empty-handed, I went and had a chat with my buddy Carl from Retro Cartel Collectibles, who had a great stall as always, and Carl had set aside for me a WWF Hasbro figure that was a spare from his own collection, and I'm talking about the Razor Ramon, the bad guy.
Where I come from, it ain't how many times you go down, it's how many times you get up. You ain't beat till you quit.
I've been searching high and low for this figure. It's a figure that's getting harder and harder to find and is in higher demand than ever, especially with the unfortunate passing of Scott Hall, who depicted Razor Ramon. And Carl looked after me with an absolute ripper deal on this figure. As you can see, he does have some discoloration, but discoloration aside, the figure's actually in super nice condition with almost no play wear. And what tends to happen with this particular Razor Ramon figure is you tend to get a lot of wear where his logos are on the trunks and on the back of the vest. You also get play wear to the head. And really, aside from that discoloration, this figure's in tremendous condition, and I'm super happy to have him now in the collection. I mean, he's ultimately a placeholder if I can find a less discolored version of the figure, but the more I look at it, the happier I am to have scored this guy for my collection, and at an absolute ripper price. So once again, a huge shout out to Carl from Retro Cartel Collectibles. It is very much appreciated, mate. As I made my way around for my last lap of the day, I took another good squiz at Owen's stall just to see if there were any TMNT figures that were jumping out at me. And in the end, I decided to bite the bullet on this beauty right here, a nice, clean, complete hothead.
He's just a sick looking figure, eh? Like, gotta be one of the best. And you got his neck coming out, yeah.
One of the trickier figures to find from the 1992 wave, and certainly one of the coolest mutant figures in the line with this samurai dragon with the extending neck feature. I love this guy. He's got really cool accessories, nice colors, and he's going to display just awesome in my vintage TMNT collection. So super stoked to add a hothead to the collection. We can tick another one off, and a big shout out to Owen for a nice price on this guy. I appreciate it, mate.
Yeah, big day for Max. Oh, bloody heaps of them. Swear the last couple of shows haven't really moved.
I feel like more and more people are going after him, that's for sure. Like, it's been wild, you know. When I started picking them up 5 years ago, like, you could get them super cheap. No one was really chasing them.
No, typical when I started working them.
That's the variant.
Yeah. It's like a different green.
Oh, is it really?
It's also got like a white tinge on the face, and it goes for like $3 or $4. And a lot of Mighty Max collectors don't know where it comes from, like if it comes in a special cereal promotion or something like that. But
that's the variant, or there's another one like that?
No, this is a variant.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the basic one hasn't got that white tinge, so yeah, this is fairly rare.
That's sick. I mean, Frico's rare.
Price.
Frico's rare anyway.
Yeah, that's a good price for Frico anyway. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, are they stickers?
No, they're masks.
So they're perforated, you just pop them out.
Bargain bin.
Bargain.
Someone didn't know what they're doing.
Yeah. You want a case?
Sick.
Huh?
You want a case? It's got a spare case.
Nah, I'm right, man.
Close her up.
Okay, mocks.
I've only got one.
Close her up.
So I'll put it in there.
Oh shit, I'd have to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool base.
And that's it for my pickups from Collector Con today. Just the two figures, but both pieces that I'm stoked to add to my collection. One thing I'm definitely finding is the longer I go collecting these vintage action figure lines, the harder it becomes to keep finding items that I need to fill gaps in my collection without getting dragged off course and chasing down new lines, which is something that I'm trying to avoid at the moment. So I can't always leave Collector Con with a backpack full of items. Sometimes it's quality over quantity, but regardless of what I leave with, a huge part of the fun of the day is the social aspect, and today was no exception. We were missing a few of the usual crew, which was a bummer. You guys were definitely missed, but we still had a great day. I got to meet some new friends of the channel like Rudy. I got to meet Ben and Ian, the boys from Toy Box 2.0 on Facebook. Shout out to you guys. And I also got to meet Brad, a fellow Mighty Max collector. And we got to talk Mighty Max for a little bit, which was awesome. So shout out to those guys. Also got to bump into some familiar faces like Mitch and Shaneco and Adam. Got to have a great chat with Adam. So shout out to all those champions.
These are all for sale. What do you want? And I'm a dodgy collector, not a completionist.
Bloody hell. He was pulling out some gold there, mate. You didn't bring cash today, you brought toxic toxic crusaders.
Hey, plastic sells better than gold.
Mate, that shit does.
A big shout out to Amy and her team for putting on a wicked event as always. But that will do us for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, you're a dead set champion. I hope to hear from you in the comments. If you're at Collecticon, let me know what you picked up. If you weren't, let me know if you saw anything that you would have liked to have added to your collection. As always, you're more than welcome to hit us up on Instagram at Crusher Collects. I'll see you back soon for the next one, and until then, cheers.